Let's talk about property detail reports. Was there in training last week, and this is the report that got a ton of great feedback. It is a phenomenal report. I'm going to show you what the report looks like. Then I'm going to also show you different uses for the report that we've just kind of, give you advice from other places around the country and how they're using it. And then, of course, we'll walk through how to build it. So where do we find the property detail report? We go to Marketing and Property Detail Report. You can see how this Marketing tab is going to literally wear off. You're going to use it so much. All right, third down, Property Detail Report. I click it. From there, I get one existing report that's in the system. Okay, so if you have 10 or 20 of these running, you'll get a list. Recognize the layout? Yep, it's exactly the same. Email sent over here. If this report was ever sent, it would have had a little magnifying glass. I just set it up as a test, so it was never sent. I can hard send it here. I can preview it here, and then I can edit it here if I want to. Let's preview this report real quickly. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the report that I created, so we'll see if this is a functional report or not. But I really want to show you the report before we dive too deep into building the report. These ones take a little bit extra to preview. So let me scroll down and make sure this is a good one. Yeah, this one will work. All right. So again, like the market reports, this comes embedded in the user's email. It's a very nice report. It's not too long. If you scroll down, it's got a picture that'll be customizable in phase 2. It's got your title here if I had it. It's got this text that will be customizable in phase 2, or you can just turn these pages off, branded to you specifically, shareable in social media, and you can convert it to a PDF and print. All right, so all the different ways that you want to get this out there in the public view, you certainly can, but it's meant to be an email delivered report. So as I scroll down, this is going to give me a real deep dive into a ton of different things, right? For sale data, sold data, if I had off-market data, which we would consider withdrawn, expired, contingent, any of that off-market data, that's also right here. And so you've got all of your segmentations of data here. It gives me kind of your newest, oldest, your averages, and here it gives me my days on market averages, my percentage differences. I continue to scroll down. We're fixing these charts and graphs. I kind of saw this with an update that came out this morning. I apologize for that, but it will look nice and sharp and will not look so distorted. But they'll give market price trends, properties on the market by segmentation, and a heat index based on the zip code that you're in. Down here, now we look at every single property that's in this mix that came out this area that we searched for. And so each one of these is a clickable link. You click it, it opens up that spreadsheet. It's branded to you, the agent, even if it's not your listing, obviously. So you've got all of this nice detailed report sheet here. You can click on these links as well and see Google Places for all of the addresses that are here. We give you sold data, off-market, on-market, actives. We only have actives and sold for this listing, but we'll do some more, not this listing, this report. And then it gives you a sample of local inventory from there. And click on photos. I can map the property. I can see that it's active. I can jump on the web and take a look at it. I can go back to the spreadsheet details. I can see some of the remarks. You get the idea. This is a really powerful report. So let's generate one of these reports with a specific use case scenario in mind. So let's say that I am farming an area and I want to generate a report here that can go out on a monthly basis and go to a bunch of people on the west side of 405 that want to live in the Pearl District. Let's do the east side this time. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to say East Pearl. If I could type it, that'd be awesome. I'll put East Pearl Market Snapshot. Okay, we'll skip criteria for a second. Let me just fill out the rest of the form. So for now, my contact will just be one person. But this functions the same way to set up multiple people as the market reports. You go into contacts, you check all the little boxes. You go to the right-hand side at the top where it said create, and then property detail reports is one of those options. Now, there's a lot of different variations you can make on this report. So the chances of you creating, one report that works for 15 people are slim. It would really only work in a little farming area. But if you want to do it, you can. Email frequency. Now we get to much more creative email frequency. Instead of just monthly, I can do 7, 14, 28, 36, or 90 days. So where would I use 7 days? Well, a really active pre-CMA, a listing tool type of a thing. Somebody who is looking at a specific area for investments or looking to move, keeping an eye on the price ranges, whatever. I mean, you could obviously, that would be a very active buyer or seller type of a situation. 30 days might be a great farming tool, right? Maybe this is just, hey, every 30 days you send a report request, someone's address and a quarter mile around that address, and here's all the stuff that happened within your MLS area within that time period, right? So there's different ways you could do, stay in touch tools would be down here. These would be much more active buyers and sellers. So we'll do every 30 days for now. Would it be, we've got copy on the front page for either a buyer or a seller. So in this case, will be for a seller. Do you want to get copied? You know my opinion on that. Maximum number of listings. I usually set this to 100 or 150. You get up over 200 or 300 listings. This report gets really big, and I think we cap it at 250 anyway. It's too big for them to manage. So let's go up here to the criteria and take a look at exactly how to build this report. So I'm going to click on Edit. Now, this looks very familiar, right? This looks very similar to the Home Finder that we just did. We've got your search bar up here for form-filled fields, okay? Make sure that you are set to RMLS. There'll be Northwest MLS added to here as well, but this needs to be MLS by MLS. And for your areas, they don't really overlap, so that shouldn't really be a problem. Or if we don't want to do this here, we can go to Map Search. So let's do Map Search. So here, I'm going to define a bunch of criteria, and I'm also going to define my polygon like George asked for a few seconds ago. So again, remember we had Pearl West up here? You see it now? So Pearl West, I never have to fill in again because I already did. And Pearl East of 405. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit and say, well, listen, give me everything that's active. Give me everything that's sold, but only in the last 60 days. So I'm going to scroll back here, let's say to October 1st to yesterday. So everything that's sold in, I would say around that time frame. Price range, I'll go with everything that's sold. That's totally fine. And then let's give me everything that's off market but just expireds and withdrawns. And again, just in the last, we'll say 30 days. So you get the idea here is that, I don't know why that's coming up as a time. I will put that in as a ticket. I apologize. It's the first error we've seen today. So we'll come in here. We'll say I want to see everything that's withdrawn, everything that's specifically expired. I just want to see those pieces, and I just want to see property type, let's say just residential. And if we have subtype, then I could go here, and I could also do for subtype condo, although I don't think that those two interact. So we'll just say residential for now. So if I go through here and say, okay, just give me, this is specifically what I want, everything that's sold for the last 60 days. I'd like to see some expireds and withdrawns. So I've got that. Now I hit this little chevron to pull that up, and now I can draw on my map, right? So it's going to give me everything on that map. So I'm going to scroll down here to the Pearl District, and I'm going to say that my client really wants this area from 405, which this wouldn't be the entire Pearl District. This would just be from 405 to Burnside, and then back up. That's what they want. So we'll say this is Pearl 405 East. So I click OK. Now it's churning and processing. And what it's going to do is it's going to show me how many results are in there. So 128, right? And there's not a lot of listings for sale on there now, but that, remember, it includes expireds and withdrawns. And so from there, I might say, okay, that's good. I'm totally good with that. I can look at those as a search result if I want to flip through them. I click on Display as Search Result. And what that shows me is a list that I can sort by any of these categories up here. See, take a look at all the categories I can sort by. So I can take a look at any, and I can look at all of these different pieces of property. So again, you probably wouldn't need to do that. And again, pictures will show up right here as soon as we go live. But you get the idea that you can. So here, if I change my parameters, and maybe I want to say, just give me sold instead of from 10/1, just give me from October, let's give me from November 1 instead. I go back up here and I say search map again, and it reprocesses. It was 128. It should be less now, right? So we'll wait and we'll get the number here in a second. And so you can kind of fine tune your report. And then I'll show you how to generate the report. Perfect, 103. We took out a month of solds. So now I click down here, OK. When I do that, we put all this gobbledygook into your, thing here. I've got your expireds and actives and all the dates in here, and I've got the polygon and everything right here. So again, from this, I'm just trying to give a 30-day summary, 4-page, on everything in that little polygon, everything on the market that is expired, withdrawn, sold, or an active listing. So let's click preview and see what we get. These reports take a little bit to churn, but while this is churning, let me tell you some ideas where people use this report for. People get really excited about this report, and we get a lot of questions. Hey, I really want to do a property detail report. I don't have any active investors. I don't really know who to set it up for. Well, here's a couple of ideas. You can set it up just as a basic radius. So I could go in there when I'm sitting in an open house, and I could say, here's the address for my open house. Give me everything that's happened in the past 60 days within a quarter mile of this open house. And then you can open that report, print it as a PDF, print off 10 copies, and it is a great takeaway tool for your clients that come to your open house. I mean, that's an awesome tool that says, hey, I'm kind of an expert in this area. You want to see everything that's sold, even stuff that came on and off the market during this time frame. Here's a report for you. Feel free to take it with you. So that's a great idea there. It's a great stay-in-touch tool post-seller. So let's say you just sold someone their property. Set them up on this report and say generate every 60 days or maybe every 30 days. Use the new address that they're in and send the report and say, hey, that was the biggest investment of your life. I really want you to see everything that's going on around you, right, in the market. And so I'm just going to send you this report and go from there. And so it just becomes a nice little stay-in-touch tool. Or, of course, it's a great pre-listing tool, pre-CMA tool, any kind of a tool like that. So I got the report generated, property detail report, dear page, here's my content. If I want to print it out as a PDF, I can. Here's my information. As I scroll down, it parsed through and gave me all my for sale data, all my off-market data, averages, shortest and longest, all my sold data. If I click on this map, if I click on that map, it pulls up the Google map and shows me off-market sold, right? All of those little pieces right there. I can see and take a look at those as they're around the different Portland area. As I scroll down, it gives me all my days on market averages here and my highs and lows and my different pricings. These are these little graphs that I'm going to fix. And then down here, I've got all my for sold data. I can click on any of these links and get an active spreadsheet of those. And this is for sale data. You just scroll down. This is sold data, right? And this is off market, and it shows you why it's off market. It's withdrawn. So we didn't have any expireds in that area. But if you just select all off market data for the last 60 days, it would show, I think contingent is one of yours, and expired is one, withdrawn. It's all the different RMLS ones. And then down here, we get all the sample local inventory, right? We've got all the condos. We can look at photos. We can do whatever. Here's a really cool tool to know, or just a piece of information. We talk about this system being a CRM, a stay-in-touch tool, right? Every time that your user clicks on anything on this report, say they click on this little spreadsheet here, and they can take a look at the map, they can take a look at the pictures, all the different pieces right here. Every time they click on anything on here, I'm tracking that. And I'm going to report back to you and say, not only did they open this, but here's the 14 properties, or maybe just 2 properties they looked at, and did they look specifically at the geolocation, or did they look at a virtual tour, or did they scroll through photos? And I'm going to show you all of that for every one of your clients. And then I'm also going to show you on the dashboard who's doing the most activity and rate those people differently. Some people call it contact scoring. And so we'll be able to score all your different contacts. We'll go through some significant training on that once you guys start using the system, right? Because there's no data in there right now. So if I like this report and it's good to go, it's exactly what I wanted to show, Then at that point, I can go out of preview mode and I click Save and Send. So what's going to happen? Well, Paige is going to get the report that I just showed you within about 1 to 2 hours. Okay, so it takes a while to process and churn and then get through our system. It's not as fast as the market report, which is pre-made. So she's going to get her first report in a couple of hours. And then from there, every 30 days, she's going to get a net report. She's going to get just the changes that happened in 30 days. She'll still see all of her actives, but if her solds dropped off or expireds dropped off or there's new ones, she'll just see the changes from those. So the report's not going to be overly intensive. It's not going to be huge. It's just going to show her, here's the, it's easy for her to parse through. It's easy for her to look at and say, oh, I know what happened in the last 30 days. Oh, it's interesting. I thought my neighbor sold. Actually, that looks like it's expired. And, I wonder if he's too difficult to work with. So anyway, you get the idea, is that that's what they're going to see. So these 7-day reports are actually pretty small. It's only 7 days worth of activity. So again, don't be too scared of sending those out. The user might get them, more frequently, every 7 days, but they're very digestible. So they're very easy to digest. Okay, that's the property detail report. So I will click here, Save and Send. When I do that, you'll get the message that says it's processing. It'll be emailed out shortly, and you click on OK, and now we've got another report. And again, it's linked to Paige, right? So you can see all the different data pieces here. If I want to hard send it, I can here. If I want to preview it, I can here. And hopefully you get the idea. So here's a little hint as you guys are thinking about questions for this specific thing. We talked about being an open house takeaway in printed form. This is a hint for market reports as well as for property detail reports. Okay, so if I want to do something that's printed, let me go back to click on New. So let me give you an idea. So if I wanted to do something that's printed, when I click on to preview the report, I can print it right from there. Okay, so I don't even have to generate it and finish it. But when I do that, it says Dear Paige or Dear Lisa or Dear one of my contacts. So what I did in my system is I set up a contact where the first name is future client. Now, when I preview that report, it's going to say Dear Future Client. So that's the one I use every time I want to do a report that is just for print. So if I want to do a market report for print, or if I want to do a property detail report and just print them, right, it's not meant to be emailed out, I can put the emails myself. I can put future client in the first name. And now, when I've got these reports sitting on the countertop, it says Dear Future Client, and then all the different stuff, and it's a great little takeaway. So how did I do that? Well, I went into Contacts and Leads. So I'm in my contacts now, right? Remember how I had toggled on just the family group? It's still here, sitting here in a family group. I'll go back to all groups. Now here, I can just click on New. And for first name, I put Future Client. And then what I do down here for email, I can just put my email, kenelmer@kenelmer.com, which is not my email, so no one take that down. So kenelmer@kenelmer.com, whatever, I can put my own in there. I can put Future Client. I already have a record set up that says this, so I'm not going to hit Save and Close. But you get the idea. That's how you can do it. And then you can have really nice printable reports that actually say Dear Future Client. Okay, that is a property detail report. Okay, so property detail reports. Stay in Touch Tools is a great variation. Certainly Investor Tools, certainly Pre-CMA. You can do polygons. You don't have to do polygons. You can just go in and say, just give me Sellwood. You never even have to jump to the map and draw it, right? How would we do that? Well, let's click on New. Let's go into our criteria. So I say Edit My Criteria, right? And so here, I've got all my different areas, like my address and types of construction and, style and subdivision, that wonderful subdivision from field from RMLS. I've got all those different pieces here. When we go live, that field that I told you about for true neighborhood will be on this form. So it'll be on location. So here, underneath, probably underneath county here, there'll be one that says neighborhood, and you can just type in Sellwood, and it would just do the geo boundaries for Sellwood. So that's all you'd have to do. You'd have to come in here and say, well, don't give me any off market. Give me, just give me 60 days of solds. and give me all actives, and go down here and say, give me, now here, this is a city, so it would be, Beaverton, but we wouldn't want to do that because that would be huge. Let's say you're doing it on this page, not on the map search, and you go down here and you click on Beaverton. You're like, yeah, give me 6 months worth of pending listings and 60 days worth of sold and all the actives for the entire city of Beaverton. That's going to be too much to do a report. If you're not sure about how many results, come up here and click on count. I click on count. That's 50,000 listings. So my system's not even going to let you make that a report. Okay. So how would you scale that back? Well, we could scale back to 30. We could scale back to pending, maybe just 7. But the bottom line is the entire city of Beaverton, it's too much. This is meant to be a snapshot, a sniper shot, right? If the market report is like a cluster bomb, right? We've got Beaverton already in there, plus neighborhoods inside of Beaverton. This is meant to be the sniper shot. This is meant to be a very small niche area. So Sellwood would be perfect for this. Lads Addition would be perfect for this. Lake Grove, those kind of things that are neighborhoods. I don't know, Lake Grove a city? I don't know. Anyway, but you get the idea. So that field will be in here under location, and so you'll want to take a look at that for sure. All right. Good. We are 10 minutes until the big web builder hour, which will be a blast. It will be fun. So are there any questions for property detail reports?